Hey guys, Patrioticstacker here, and I have the pleasure to speak with Jake Haugen, the founder of Bullion. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. So, how is business with Bullion?
It's actually incredible. We're a relatively new company, although the group here is not new to this business. We're relatively new. Um, we always expect kind of a slowdown over the holidays. People are busy Christmas shopping. Plus, I don't think there's a lot of confidence in the carriers, UPS, FedEx, U.S. Postal Service, especially. So the bullion buying kind of slows down in December. We've noticed, and then it picks up again the middle of January. And this year we're off to the races this year again when it comes to bullion. So very busy.
That's great. I see every new year it's pretty busy because so many new releases coming out. Like, for example, the new Type 2 Britannias. It's a big year for the Britannias because it's the first time in so many years that in
70
7 years
years.
they've changed the
70 years
monarch.
it's been, yeah.
Yep, and not to mention, first time they ever did a Type 2 coin.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff happening with the changeover of the effigy from the queen to her son, the king, obviously. And I was fully expecting, because we had a delayed launch with the Royal Canadian Mint Maples. Normally, we see those launch sometime at the very end of November, very beginning of December. And I say launch, I mean like live here, ready to ship. This year they were delayed. We don't have them yet. They're very close. But the images that we were provided from the Royal Canadian Mint actually still bear the queen. So I'm expecting with the maples, with the maples, we're going to see a Type 1, Type 2. We know that's already here with the Britannias. We're pre-selling Type 2 Britannias. We have the art on that. We haven't seen the new maple with the king on it yet. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting year. It's gonna be a lot of Type 1, Type 2 stuff. The queen, the issuing of coins with the queen's effigy on it is prolific. There are so many coins that this is affected by, and so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to see what they come out with. The timing of it. I mean, obviously for us, it means a lot more SKUs, right? We have to double our SKUs on these products, but so far the art that's come out looks like they're doing a good job with the effigy of the king and respecting the queen and kind of honoring her. If you look at the maple, there are two dates, 1952 to 2022. So her 70-year reign, you're seeing the two dates displayed on the maple this year. So I think that was, I guess, a nice touch.
And exactly, I think the same with the maples. When I seen the first image of the new maples,
yeah,
I liked it a lot because it added a commemorative touch to it. And granted, it's probably not going to be rare or anything like that or have a super high premium, but it's nice to see that. So it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, and how they're still, because when the queen first died and all the news was getting out, everyone was wondering, this is a big part that they have to do with changing their phase on everything. The Royal Canadian Mint, I think, stated that they weren't in a rush changing her image. So we were wondering what they were going to do. And then they put out with this commemorative maple honoring her 70 years as queen, which is awesome. Because me personally, I love the maples how they are. They're just a beautiful coin.
Yep, it's the maples have been a cool coin to see kind of the evolution. They had the issues with the milk spotting, particularly on the silver, in its history. We just actually got a bunch of backdate maples in 2011s, milk spots all over them. Well, 2018 they came out with the mint shield technology, and so far that seems to have solved the problem of the milk spotting. But the Royal Canadian Mint has kind of led the charge when it comes to implementing anti-counterfeiting measures into their coinage, which I think is spectacular. It does a lot for their brand. It does a lot for the end user, for the stackers that are looking to protect themselves and make sure that they're not actually purchasing counterfeit goods. They're definitely leading the charge. You're seeing other mints kind of piggyback, if you will, on them. The Britannias had a big changeover in 2021. So yeah, I mean, the Royal Canadian Mint is they're leading it when it comes to really taking care of the end user with their products.
Exactly. Quality silver, quality gold. Just
Mhm.
they have so many with the security features on the coins, from the mint shield, and just 4.9's fine. Even some of their gold is 5.9's. You
Yep,
know,
yep. We see
put a
those
lot of.
issues. Those issues are starting to come out more and more. There's the single source, the Yukon, or I'm sorry, uh, the Klondike coins. Those are 5.9s. So it's a nice touch. The Mounties, those are 5.9s.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. They put a lot of extra work into their product. But when it comes to the maples and Brits, because Brits are very popular too.
mhm.
I've noticed in the community, people are pretty much neck and neck with both coins. What would your choice be,
Oh
Brit or the
man,
maple?
gosh, I've been in this business a long time, and there was a time when the Britannia was definitely like a class C. It was,
Yeah,
you think about the A tier products. You have your Eagle, your Maple. That was the A tier, and then the B tier was pretty much everything else that was mass produced. Um, and the Britannia has really come a long way, even in the last 10 years, right? And so I look at a Britannia as a class A. You have your Eagle, your Maple, your Britannia, and then kind of everything else, right? Um, so being a, uh, being that I've been around this business a long time, I do enjoy the Maples a lot.
hmm
And that's just based on my personal history with the Maples. I mean, I've been selling them for years and years and years. So, um, but man, that's a tough choice. I do like the art on the Britannia better, and so I would say just from aesthetics, I like the Britannia. If I was just personally stacking for weight, I would say maple, as long as the premium isn't prohibitive. Okay, if there's more than a couple bucks difference between the two, I'm going with the Britannia. We are seeing premiums relax, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point, but. Yeah, I would say like right now in this environment, I'd go with the Britannia.
All right, absolutely. See, that's me. I love them both, and I'm neck and neck with pretty much
Yeah.
both of them. But I always lean more towards the maple, just because of the milk spot problem on the Brits. That
Yeah.
is something that they haven't really taken care of.
Yeah, I will say in recent memory, the second half of 2021 was probably the we ran the highest reject rate then. And they were just so spotted. The Britannias were. It's really hard to go and cull out a bunch because um, we have no recourse with the British Royal Mint. It's not like we can, box them up and send them back and get them swapped out. That's just not how it works. So
No.
we're stuck with these coins. We're eating these coins that we can't sell, as BUs, that we essentially have to cull out and send as cull coins, or take the risk of customers being upset. And obviously, that's not what we're about. So yeah, it hurts us when we get bad quality product in, and we saw that second half of 2021. We did see it. We see it all the time. We see it daily, milk spots. Um, but every once in a while, it does become a problem. We had there was an issue with the South African Cougarans.
Yeah.
The silver, they had milk spots too in a pretty bad way, and it seems like they've gotten better. So it's really hard to pinpoint like what's causing this, where it's coming from. But yeah, it's terrible. I hate it. I
No, me
hate milk
too.
spots
And
probably as much as everyone else. Hey, if you can invent a solution that gets rid of milk spots, please call me.
right, right, absolutely. And I've seen people do things on the community, with taking like torches to the milk spots and doing
Yeah.
all these types of experiences, and some of them work. But I can't bring myself to take a torch to a coin.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do
But
it.
I think everybody, even that's watching this right now, knows that if you buy a tube of Britannias, or Krugerrands, you take the chance of having milk spots.
Absolutely.
It's out of the seller's control. It's out of your control. It's the Mint's problem.
Yeah.
But it's pretty. I've bought the first, what was it, the Type 1s this year. They came out pretty early. I bought a tube of those, and they were beautiful. I was shocked. Not one milk spot.
Yeah.
I opened it back up like a week, 2 weeks, maybe not 2 weeks, maybe a month later, because we all like to play with our silver once in a while, right? And milk spots.
Really? Wow.
Milk spots. I've seen them appear, over time. That tube was fine, and all of a sudden you open it up and there's a few coins in there that are milked over.
Yeah.
But that's something that the Mint needs to fix.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a couple different ways, us as a supplier, one of the things that we can do to kind of throttle it is not place as big of orders, not be as supportive of the product. Obviously, if we see, our customers that are buying from us buying this product less, we're going to order less of it, right? But if we're receiving low quality product, like I said, there's no real recourse for us other than to not really promote that product very much, or as aggressively, and maybe potentially have to raise the price to offset the cost of having to cull out so many coins. There's a few different ways that you can do it, but as a consumer, really what you can do, you have an experience like that, you just move on. You try something else out next, and maybe you find something that works for you, and hope that the Mint at some point addresses it. I don't think it's like a real consistent problem with Britannia's, but it's like kind of hit or miss. You are kind of rolling the dice a little bit.
Exactly. And this brings me to this question. So you have two types of stackers. You have the stackers that just don't care what it is, as long as it's cheap. It's silver, they touch it with their hands, they throw it around, throw it in bags and store it in their safes. And then you have those stackers that put things in capsules, leave them in the, like me, for example, leave them in the tubes, and then when you tape them shut real tight, and the gold's in capsules and tubes, you try to keep things nice. That does affect the value when it comes to sell, right?
Yeah.
You guys would rather have nice BU clean silver gold with no milk spots, no dings, no scratches, because that's going to lower the cost when you sell it.
Yep, absolutely. And so there are a few different ways you can handle it. There are those people who just feel like silver is silver, gold is gold, just I'm going to put it in the safe, and I'm going to forget about it, and hopefully I never need to access the value that it represents. I'm never going to need to convert it into cash or anything else, and I'll just pass it on to my children. There are some people like to get out and play with their stuff. I mean, that's more in line with what I enjoy. Why own it if you're not going to be able to appreciate it every once in a while?
You gotta enjoy it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so the capsules, and I'm a father, I have children. I like to get my kids involved in it, and at least see who's kind of intrigued by it, who kind of has the bug that I do to do this. And of course, not all my kids do, but there are a couple that I'm hopeful for. So
yep.
It's good to have it in capsules so they can handle it. I mean, you don't want a child younger than 10 years old holding for instance, is that a gold eagle that you have on your desk there?
Yeah, this is our first year, I believe, 86 or 87.
I see the Roman numerals, but yeah. So you obviously don't want a 4-year-old or 5-year-old handling that with their bare hands. So
absolutely
great for that.
So this here is my little my daughter's little box, and this is the stuff that the kids can play with. They can touch it, and mess with it.
That's perfect.
A couple poured pieces, from some poor artists in the community.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard.
That's great.
Heard of Reckless Metals.
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
He's good. And then you have Lake House Beach, another good poor artist. But stuff like this,
yeah, that's
constitutional great. Junk silver. I let them play with that, but they stay away. They stay away from the gold and the BU governmented coins.
Yeah. I think there's they might need to graduate, exhibit some kind of proficiency in handling valuables before they can graduate to the next tier of handling products.
Exactly. And that's with my kids, I teaching them to save, and they're young. My son my oldest understands pretty. He's getting good. He saves all his money. He's really good with that. So I started buying them, 1/10 gold coin every year, just to throw in a safe. And my 4-year-old daughter always wants it. I said, listen, when you get older, I'll give it to you. But right now, you got to play with the junk silver. But so when it comes, that's like me when I buy bullion, I like to keep it in good shape because I plan on passing it on to my kids when the time comes. I don't think I could bring myself to sell it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much insurance or wealth to pass on to the kids. I might sell a portion of it when the time comes, maybe 20%, 10% of the stack, whatever, just so me and my wife can enjoy a little bit. But, I like to keep it clean because I've seen the difference for what a tube of BU Eagles go for versus a tube of Coles and what they pay.
Absolutely.
So I'm big with, not touching it with bare hands, not dinging it up, keeping it in capsules. And then when I pull it out and mess with it, I'm wearing these suckers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. See? Exactly.
I'm with you.
So what got you into the precious metals business? Were you a stacker beforehand?
Yeah. I mean, really, my journey starts when I was 9 years old. I had a newspaper route, and one of the places that I delivered to, this was a weekly newspaper. It wasn't daily. And so every Tuesday I would get out and I would deliver 400 newspapers. And one of the places I delivered to was a coin store. So invariably I go into the coin store as a 9-year-old, and he had these really cool cases with buttons on them. And so the shelves would rotate as you press the buttons. Okay, so you've seen those.
Yeah, I remember.
So I would just stare at these coins and look, and there were some really cool ones. So I remember the first coin I ever bought was a 1922 peace dollar, one of the most common silver dollars out there.
There you go.
I bought a 1922 peace dollar, and I think I paid $6 for it. I mean, it was, now that looking back, it's like, oh my goodness, that's so incredible.
Imagine.
But yeah, I paid a few bucks for it and just put it in, basically like a shoebox kind of thing on top of my dresser for 20 years. And, I collected coins. I collected Indian pennies. My favorite has always been the Standing Liberty Quarter. It's just, I love the art. I love that it's a short run, that there are some really cool designations. And so when it comes to bullion, I think there's always this kind of crossover, this like Venn diagram, if you will, between numismatics and bullion. And they invariably, they overlap at some point, right? Because when you buy a silver dollar, you're not just buying a collectible coin, you're buying intrinsic value in silver. It has a melt value no matter what. If they uncover a pile of 500 million silver dollars, let's say, well, mine still has silver in it, so it still represents some value, even though potentially the collector value is gone, right? Exactly. And so you just kind of get into that when it comes to, oh, hey, here's a cool Walking Liberty half dollar. Okay, well, that's the same kind of thing. It's kind of a crossover product. It's bullion, but it's also a little bit collectible. And that took me to shortly after I graduated high school. I was thinking, should I go play football? I played football in high school. Should I go play football in college? Or, what do I want to do? I wasn't quite sure. I kind of had a mentor reach out to me and said, hey, I want you to come work with me. He dealt in sterling silver flatware, some collectible crazy pieces. And so I worked for him for a little bit and just kind of had a knack for it. I enjoy the subject matter. I enjoy kind of the history behind these different patterns and brands. And, in the same way that numismatics and bullion kind of overlap, you deal with the same thing when it comes to sterling silver flatware. Some of the sterling silver flatware sets are basically just worth the silver. So I would bring them to the refinery and we would cook them. We call it cooking them. When you refine something, you cook it, right? So we'd cook all that sterling, and we cooked a lot of it. There was a lot of garbage patterns out there. But at the same point, I started networking. I started working for one of the biggest dealers in the Midwest, and it's been off to the races since then. I love this business. I love the type of conversations that I get to have with people. I love the subject matter personally. I'm a stacker personally. And so I feel like I share a tremendous amount of affinity with the stackers that are out there. Yeah, I just kind of what would you do if you never had to work another day in your life? And fortunately for me, it's this.
Exactly. And I've been dabbling with selling metals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I said. Eventually, that would be my goal to, stop what I'm doing. Maybe not stop 100%, but find someone to run my other business, because I do flooring for a living. And I would like to make this a full-time thing, because if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Right. Exactly.
You're getting paid to just be happy. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's my plan. So what brings me to the next question. Any advice for people getting into selling metals?
Wow. Into selling metals. There are a lot of things that there are a lot of hard things that we do in this business that once you figure it out, it essentially becomes easy, because you do all the work up front. So that's things as simple as being properly insured. Okay. Your exposure in this business can be tremendous, right? At any given point in time, think about all the mail that's out there, all the packages that are out in the mail. If, God forbid, something terrible happens to the UPS truck, you could be out a serious amount of money, right? And so you need to take care of the insurance side of things, both your on-site insurance, your shipping insurance. Also, you need to be really careful about, who you're exposing yourself to when it comes to, like, let's say you're just selling metals around your town. You have to worry about security. So that's always going to be something that we take very seriously in this business. So I would say take care of some of those early things. The other bit of advice, like I said earlier, there's a lot of overlap between numismatics and bullion. You have to go to some coin shows, and I'm not just talking regional coin shows. Go to some majors. In the Northeast, you have the Baltimore Coin Show. That is, it's one of my favorite shows. I love the Spring Baltimore March show. Go there and get there early. Don't go on Saturday. Half the dealer is going to be packed up and gone. Walk the floor. Go there with some cash. Work on negotiating. That's one of the most important skills you can develop, and understand that this business is a give and take business. It's not, if you're out there trying to win, and get every last dime on every last deal, when you're dealing with someone, they're going to get tired of dealing with you. It's about relationships, right? You need to seek out those guys that you kind of just gel with, the guys that you like dealing with, and they're going to like dealing with you. So yeah, I mean, networking, take care of your insurance, your security, things of that nature. And then I would say one of the things that we talk about every day here is what's best for the customer. What's best for your customer? What would your customer appreciate? We had someone just buy a couple of monster boxes of Silver Eagles for like a giveaway. And this is a corporate thing. We're doing quite a bit more of this. And so in our meeting today, our stand up this morning, we were talking about it. How are we going to help this person out and make sure that their needs are being met? And someone offered up, hey, this person's giving them away, but they're buying monster boxes. They don't have even like the little plastic flips, or how are they going to get these to people? So we reached out and said, hey, do you need bags? Do you need flips? Like, what do you need to support this? And while it doesn't increase our profit, it costs us money to deliver this to the customer. We're taking care of this customer. So if you can take that kind of approach to really take care of your people, provide an experience where they feel like they're being treated like a human. I hear that daily, where people are feeling like they get taken advantage of by other people, or they were years ago by some guy on a phone trying to sell them some overpriced stuff. You've really got to focus on the end user, because they have goals, and it's your job to help them achieve those goals.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. run a business myself, and customers are always first.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even though some of them aggravate you and get you going, you just gotta sometimes bite the bullet.
There's plenty of that.
Sometimes you just gotta, because you can do 100 good jobs, and it takes one bad review,
Mm-hmm.
and it could ruin you.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. And what are you seeing people buying more? Are you seeing people buying more numismatics, more bullion?
Well, I mean, our product mix focuses on bullion. We do dabble a little bit in numismatics, but honestly, it's stuff that, kind of self-referencing stuff that I think's cool, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I decide what we're carrying, right? And so we do carry a bit of the numismatics. It's not a big, it's essentially de minimis when it comes to, the bottom line here, if you will. So I would say bullion, we are seeing 2023 Silver Eagles are moving. It's unreal. The premiums have relaxed quite a bit. If you're paying attention, you'll notice that the Silver Eagle premiums have backed off, $6-8. We snagged a big group of them at a really good rate, and so we're passing that on. I think we show really well in the market right now as far as how our pricing goes. But I would say definitely bullion, and a lot of that's just based on what we market to and what we carry. But within bullion, Silver Eagles have been surprising. Silver Britannias this year have been a little bit disappointing, believe it or not. Those are usually a really strong mover for us, but I think some of that volume is moving to Silver Eagles. And then I will say the hottest platform or format, whatever you want to call it right now, is Kilo Silver Bars. I can't believe I just said that, but Kilo Silver Bars, I think it's a price point thing. You can get a kilo of silver for a little over $800 right now. If I had to guess, I think it's, eight and a quarter, something like that, or 840 maybe. But people just like kilos. We are selling kilo bars like there's no tomorrow. And so Germania is going to be just a slam dunk, no brainer within the kilos. I've had a meeting with Germania Mint recently. They have some great stuff coming out. I'm really excited about what Germania Mint's doing. The Nadir stuff has been really strong. Nadir kilos have been great. So kilo bars, the bigger bars are great. Silver Eagles are coming on strong. Maples have been strong. Brits a little disappointing for us. But yeah, bullion, baby. That's what it is.
So you're seeing a lot of sales still on Eagles.
Yeah, well, they're picking up for us. Last year, I was shocked how few Silver Eagles we sold, and now this year, they're flying. And part of that, like I said, the premiums have backed off quite a bit. I think we're selling monster boxes at $8.29 over spot per coin right now. So a single will be $9.29. I know that still sounds incredibly high, and believe me, it is.
It's better than 20.
What's that?
It's better than 20.
Yeah. I think on our site we got as high as $15.50, maybe $16 for a little bit there. So to say Silver Eagles now are going out the door less than $10 is phenomenal.
Yes.
And people are paying that for them, which is incredible. Now, the one thing I will say you need to watch out for, if you don't get on Silver Eagles early this year, as the year progresses, word from the APs or the authorized purchasers is that they are on every other week allocation. What that means is every other week they are ordering from the U.S. Mint. Normally it's weekly. Now we're every other week. And would you guess that your viewers understand how Silver Eagles are distributed, the bullion version?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So, this is a small group. This is a select group. This is a powerful group within our industry, and they hold a lot of the cards when it comes to how many Silver Eagles are sold and essentially what price they're at. So yeah, the premiums have come off. I think I don't think the U.S. Mint's going to be able to keep up. That's just my gut right now. I think Silver Eagle premiums are going to go back up. I would say probably Q2.
Yeah. No, a lot of people are very upset with the U.S. Mint this past year and a half, and a lot of people stopped stacking Eagles, including myself.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a tube of Eagles since the end of 2021.
Yeah.
That's how
I don't
long.
blame you. I don't
And I
blame you.
just-
I haven't either. So
Yeah, and the sad thing is, I love them. They're classic, beautiful American bullion. You know, they're extremely liquid, but I can't justify $10, $15, $20 over spot.
okay, so here's a question. Where are you a buyer of silver eagles? Does it need to be $6, $5, $4? What do you think?
I would feel comfortable at 5 or 6, and even though that's still a higher premium, but you gotta keep in mind that it's government bullion.
Yeah.
What right now with Brits and Maples are what 3 to 4, 5 over about roughly, depending where you buy.
Less than $5. You should be
Yeah.
able to get Britannias and Maples landed for less than $5 for sure.
Exactly, and with the Eagles, I think because Eagles have always been a little more expensive than those coins because it's like the top coin. So I understand that the premium might be a little bit more, but I'd be a buyer at $5-6. But at the same time, you see the coins that the Royal Canadian Mint's putting out, the Royal Mint's putting out, the Mexican Mint, what's Blanco D, all these beautiful coins with security features and 4.9's fine silver. The RCM has the Mint Shield.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, okay, I'm spending 3-4 over. But Eagles are, no security features beside the missing reed that they move. Seems like they're moving it each year.
It spins. It spins in the collar, and that's unfortunate. They haven't figured it out. So
they still have milk spot problems. Why is that so much more expensive than these other coins that are just outstanding? So it's I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship when it comes to Eagles, and I think that's the good portion of the community. We love Eagles because they're American, they're classic bullion coins, but at the same time, we hate the premium and we hate what certain things what the U.S. Mint are doing.
Okay, so let me add this. You even if you don't buy silver eagles, you can still benefit from silver eagles. And what I mean by that is, think of the silver eagle premium as the canary in the coal mine, because silver eagles are going to be the first thing to move when inventory starts tightening up, and you start seeing silver eagle premiums go up. What's the very next thing to follow? Maples. Okay, so if you're in the market to buy and you're trying to time it or whatever, and you see silver eagles over the course of a week jump $1, $2 premium, and I mean premium is our world. Spot price, and I say our world, I mean on the dealer side. If I call up and say, how much is product X or Y, they'll say $3. Well, it doesn't mean I'm buying it for $3. It means the premium is $3, right? And so that's the essentially our vernacular, our code, whatever. That's how we talk dealer to dealer on the bullion side when it comes to trading. But look for silver eagles for the premium to change. If the premium goes up quickly on silver eagles and you're in the market for maples, they're not going to be far behind. You have 24 to 48 hours tops to act on and get maples. And then the next thing is going to be the Brits, the K-Rans, the Phils. All that stuff is going to follow suit. So that is, we haven't talked about constitutional, which is huge.
I love
constitutional.
Oh,
Constitutional's right there. If Eagles tighten up, constitutional is going to be right there with maples. They're going to be the second mover. Constitutional, maples the second mover, third mover, Brits, K-Rans, Phils.
Yeah, and speaking of premiums, I've noticed the premiums dropped, especially on junk silver. It's dropped a lot.
It's great. I love it.
It's great. Absolutely. I was working on I finished my Mercury Guardhouse box this year, and beginning of this year I finished it, and my $50 box earlier last year. I was working on the quarter box, and we all know the quarter box is the hardest because there's 500 face value in a box, right?
Yeah.
And I had to take a break because of the premiums. You were seeing 22, 23, 24, 26. It's ridiculous. Well, now I've seen them as low as 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've seen some great deals on constitutional silver, and it's good to see it finally come down. And same thing with the Eagles. When the pre-sale for the 2023s first came out, the tubes were going for about $750.
Yep, that sounds right.
And then all of a sudden, within a week, it dropped down to like $650.
Yep.
660. So premiums are coming down, and a lot of people, in the community right now are saying, "Oh, I'm going to take a break from buying gold and silver right now. The premiums, the price going up." And I said, I'm saying that we're actually having better premiums right now than we did when we had the dip. I said, there's better premiums right now on coins and bars than when we had the 6-month long dip.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually, I think it's still a great time to buy.
Yep. I agree. I love constitutional silver. I think there's a lot of value for people, and there can be some premium plays that you make in constitutional. I call it junk 90, but right now you're seeing it like we're selling it right around 20 times face,
which is great.
Yeah, that's a pretty good price, and I'm glad to see it come down. Now there are some plays to be made. If you just heard me say Q2, I think Silver Eagle premiums are going to go up. I would venture to say that 90% is going to follow. It's 90% premiums are going to go up too. So we have what I feel, and it's just my gut. It's just a hunch. I feel like premiums are going to go back up here before too long, especially when I look at the volume that we're starting to see, especially this last week. It's been really busy for us. Some of the heavy hitters are coming in and placing big orders. So they're not making 90% silver anymore, guys. Like
exactly.
if you can only source it if someone else sells it first. So
like I'm a big pusher when it comes to junk silver and pre-33 gold. They don't make it anymore, like you said. And in the 1980s with the Hunt brothers, they melted tons of it. Tons. So who's to say how many mercs are really out there? Yeah, I mean there's a lot, but how much is really out there?
Yeah.
How many quarters are really out there? How many half dollars are out there, or dollars? I think in the future there might even be more numismatic value to the junk silver than just weight. There's probably people out there melting it now in their basements, but
yeah, hopefully not, man.
Hopefully not. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
So this is a question that I want to get from you for a bunch of new stackers when it comes to storing their metals. I have a lot of people in the community that don't have a safe, or pretty much just store them in. I don't even know what they store them in. But what do you think is the best way to store your metals?
Oh my God!
Safety deposit box?
No, not that.
At home, right? At home. What do you recommend for what people should buy to store their metals to protect themselves from anything?
Okay, let me preface it by saying, number one, people will say that they don't have a number. And what I mean by that is I believe that everyone has a number in terms of value that they are willing to keep at their residence. Okay. Mm-hmm. So some people, 10 grand worth of stuff. Once I get more than 10 grand, I'm feeling really, really sketched out about it. I need to keep it somewhere else. Okay. Everyone has a number. Because number doesn't end. What if you had 5 billion in gold? Would you keep it in your house? Obviously you wouldn't, right? Like no brainer, right? So you have a number. It's somewhere in there. It's probably not 10 grand, and you probably won't ever experience $5 billion in metals in your house, but it's somewhere. So let's talk about everything below that number. So you feel confident keeping X amount in your house, right? If you don't have a safe, I would say. They are actually, when you think about the value that it protects and you're buying bullion as insurance, you need to really seriously consider getting some type of safe to protect it. Okay. Now let's say if a safe is out of the question, I will say, a lot of people keep them in gun safes. Those are not adequate. I'm just telling you right now, a gun safe is inadequate for keeping your bullion in. the goal of a gun safe is to keep your guns away from your children or minors, or just protect your liability, and protect those that you love. I would say, let's say if we can't get a safe and we have to get creative, okay? When it's time to get creative, I don't have the cash for a safe yet. I'm starting into stacking. This is a kind of a new thing for me. Think layers. Don't put it in your sock drawer, okay? We all know that that's the first place they're yanking your drawers out and they're tossing it.
Absolutely.
Don't put it in your sock drawers. What I want you to focus on is layers. What I mean by that is get creative. Put a hole, find a hole or some kind of panel. It's really easy to get those fake outlets. Put a fake outlet, put it behind there. Maybe that's not good, but a fake outlet with a dresser in front of it, okay, maybe that's something. Or pull up some carpet, something under the carpet. Think about layers, because what layers are going to do is they're not going to be the obvious place for it. Number one. Number two, they're going to buy time, right? And so we're assuming that if you have some kind of intrusion, let's assume you're not home. The other scenario is really, really bad, but let's assume you're not home. So someone has broken into your house with you not there. Seriously consider some kind of dummy stash that has very little in it. All right, real stuff maybe, but very little in it. I mean,
yep.
And the real stuff, you have to put it behind layers. I mean, think about, I grew up in Minnesota. Think about hot and cold. When we would go outside, it was layers and layers and layers.
Yeah.
We're protecting ourselves with multiple layers. So think that way. I like that type of thinking, at least.
Exactly. I'm a big, before I really started getting serious with metals, well, I was getting there, but I didn't have that huge stack. I bought a safe. I went out and spent the money on a good safe. And like you said, with the gun safes, they are security cabinets. They are not rated safes. The best safes to really get. And if you're stacking metals, obviously, you should have the money to get a good safe. That's what I think, especially if you stack a lot. And the TL15s and the TL30s, they're expensive, but, you're saving yourself a lot. God forbid something were to happen. Same thing with security systems and stuff. Alarm systems, security, cameras. I'm a big proponent when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, one of the biggest things, one of the easiest things you can do, if you're stacking metals, you should definitely have a home security system, and those are not, those do fail. Home security systems are not perfect. Residential security, if there's ever an issue, the time to response is not phenomenal there, and that's because they've got to make sure that you didn't accidentally set it off. So they're going to call you. They're going to then they're going to call dispatch, so on and so forth. It takes time. It's all time, right? But I would say something very easy that you can do is have a contact installed on your safe. So essentially, if your safe is moved, it's going to trip your alarm too, and that you can get a contact installed for $80. It's nothing,
Yeah, exactly. It's important to protect our metals. How about what do you think people should do to test their metals? What should they have to test their metals with? What are the things they can test their metals with?
Yep. A lot of the things, like, what we use here, we use a Sigma here. Sigmas are, they work really good. They were hit and miss as far as supply for a while. I think the supply is coming back. Last time we were offered, I think we bought like 8 or 10 of them, just because it had been so long since we're able to get some. So Sigmas are good. But in the same way that when you're storing your metal, I want you to have layers. When you're verifying metal, I want you to have different methods as well, multiple methods to test your metals. So part of it is just proficiency, like being able to identify what's real and what's not. There are various slides out there that actually work pretty dang good. I like the Sigmas too. When it comes to gold, you have to be really careful. Gold's really soft, right? And so you have to be careful doing the things like the acid test, because you're essentially, shaving off a little bit of gold to test it with acid. That can actually hurt the resale value of the coin. So you have to be really careful with that. But things like slides. I've seen this ping. Have you seen the ping thing with the wood stick? I see it on social media every once in a while. I'm intrigued by that. I think I want to try it, and I think it's paired with an app. Do you have any experience with that? Yeah, that's exactly
Sound money pocket pinger.
Okay, so give me your feedback on that. Is that a good product?
So,
is it legit?
I also have a Sigma. You
Okay.
know, especially if you're stacking weight, I highly recommend to eventually invest in one, set some money aside to buy one. But this is a great tool, and I think the pocket pinger is a lot better than the rare earth magnets or the slides. Oh, there you go. Yep, there's a slide there.
Slide here. This was actually gifted to me, so.
Oh wow.
Cool.
Yeah, the slides are great. The slides are great. The magnets are great. Weighing it's great, but I think this one's a step up because for years before there was any Sigma metal verifier or any fancy stuff like that, how they tested their gold and silver back then was by a ping. Yep. They put it on the tip of their finger and they pinged it.
I've done that
in the old stores
times. Yeah.
In the 1800s and Mr. Scrooge's time.
Yeah.
They would ping their coins.
So is there an app that complements that?
There is an app, yes, and the app works outstandingly.
Okay, that was
tried it.
How good is it? Yeah.
And it's good. If you're traveling, and I don't know if you're like me, but when I travel and go on vacation, I always drag my wife and the kids into a local coin shop just to check out what they got. I bring this, throw it in your pocket, you ping it, and plus, if you've been around gold and silver for a while, you can pretty much tell what's real, what's fake. But fakes are getting better. Fakes are getting better.
Yeah.
But it works great. It's not no Sigma, but it's another way, a cheap way to test your metals.
Yeah, I would, and like I said earlier, I would say use multiple methods.
Absolutely.
You use that. Use a Sigma. Use a slide. Go with your gut. If it's, I go on various websites and I watch Reddit, and invariably, like once a week, someone posts something, says, "Hey, is this a good deal?" And it's a silver eagle for below spot. Obviously, it's fake, man. Don't buy that. It's too good to be true. Don't get greedy. This is, what are you expecting when you're paying less than silver melt value for a silver eagle or something silly like that? Don't get greedy like that.
Exactly. I've noticed a lot of people fall for that, especially. And the worst thing is seeing it on TV, like on the what's those channels, QVC. They're selling, like this one guy was selling these walkers, a walker $50. And what are they? $10-11 a piece, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And they're selling them for $3. They're so rare. Granted, they were like 1944, 1945, most common walkers.
Ugh.
Average circulated. 3 payments for $29.99. There's a low mintage. They're very rare. Blah 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 blah. And people fall for it. People buy that stuff. Especially you'll get once in a while on your newspaper. There'll be a page in the back, and it's an eagle. 3 payments or 4 payments of $20 or $19.99. It's crazy, but you got to do the research. You got to do your homework and buy from reputable dealers. There's a lot of scams out there, and fakes are getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been burned buying from anyone before?
No. I mean, I've been. There was an instance where someone being burned. I would say no. Being offered fake stuff, plenty. Right.
Yes.
Krugerrands are one of the things that I'm always suspicious of, like out of the gate. If I see Krugerrands, my radar, my spidey sense is going off. I know that I have to be on my toes when it comes to Krugerrands. I'm talking gold here. I've yet to see a really well done silver counterfeit. Oftentimes it's silly stuff, like they use the wrong font, or the wording is kind of mushy or soft looking. There's a lot of that kind of goes into it. You'll see a lot of those pieces are cast, so they actually have a kind of around the edge where it should be nice, clean reading. You'll see kind of a seam there from the casting process that they do. So there are a lot of tells in silver. I know they're getting better, but if you've seen enough stuff, like I said, if you've gone to a bunch of coin shows and really expose yourself to a good amount of product, you're going to be benefiting there as well, besides networking and potentially picking up some cool pieces. You're going to be learning that kind of stuff. And so there's kind of that spidey sense that you have to develop over time. But yeah, I mean, we source from, some majors in the industry, mids in the industry. We are going to be spinning up our buyback program. We're actually already doing it right now. If customers call us to sell us stuff, and that's where we have to be really careful. That's part of the process of buying back from the retail public. Even if they've purchased the item from you, there's a lot of shady stuff that can go on. They can swap stuff and say, oh yeah, I bought these Eagles from you, and send you some fake stuff. Obviously, they're trying to get one over on you. So we're gearing up for that in a big way. But yeah, you have to do your due diligence. You have to develop those skills of being identified. You got to invest in the right equipment, the Sigmas, the Ping. What is that Ping thing called?
Sound Money Pocket Pair.
Okay, yeah, you got to get one of those and get proficient with it. If you bought stuff, practice with it, play with it, develop that skill, and it's gonna serve you well, I believe.
Exactly, I agree with you. Also, I see that Harold Bullion has been messing around with pores.
Oh,
let's talk about this, Jake.
Well, you're aware of my history, and that I was one of the founders of Provident Metals.
Yes.
When my time at Provident was kind of winding down, and I knew that we were going to have an exit, I did start out in my barn pouring some silver, and actually it was a really enjoyable experience for me. It was just like a hobby for myself. And I said, well, when after starting Hero Bullion, we started. It's something that I love. I enjoy. It's something I felt we could do a good job with, and so we started with a 10-ounce hand-poured bar. You're going to see on the market there's a lot of cast product, and once you understand the difference and how poured versus cast, like what does that difference mean? It's really easy to identify the difference between the two. So we do hand-poured. Cast products are products that essentially are baked. You put silver grain inside of a graphite mold, you put a cover on it, you put it in an oven, and it bakes, and you get a nice clean surface. And so you're going to see like the Nadir product is all cast product. I'm trying to think of some of the other bigger names that are cast. The Germania 10-ounce bars, that's a cast bar there. Okay, so that bar, the grain was placed in a mold, and it was heated up, and probably a vacuum tunnel or some kind of casting tunnel that it went through and made that. What we do is we actually melt silver in a crucible and pour it into the mold. So we pour the molten silver into the mold, and you get a different effect. You get some pore lines, you get kind of striations on the sides, and a little bit more character. It's a more rustic look that I just love, honestly. It connects me with the metal and kind of the physical properties of it. It's just a lot of fun. So we do it here. We have some more equipment coming in. People have been really receptive to the product. And that all starts with just taking pride in what we do here. So yeah, we've been doing the poured 10-ounce bars. Just recently, we launched the Asgard 2-ounce Penengars. Penengar, I'm Scandinavian. Penengar it relates to the etymology of pennies, right? So in Scandinavian money, which they dealt in bullion, I think Viking money.
Yep, Viking money.
There was the Penengar.
Crowns.
Yep. And so we make a, I have one right here. We make a 2-ounce Penengar. Okay, and this has the Asgard poured silver stamp. Asgard is a brand of ours. So Asgard was really popular about 6 years ago when I was at Provident. I made the Asgard stuff, and so we're bringing it back here.
And you happen to be doing something with that very round, Jake. Tell the viewers.
what we're doing with
What
it,
we're
right?
doing. What we're doing.
Yeah, we're giving this one away.
And that is outstanding. Look
So,
at the tones.
yeah, I'm gonna leave that up to you. Oh man, this one's got great color.
Oh
Look
my
at
God,
that.
it's beautiful. I might tell the viewers to scratch and I'll keep it.
Oh, it's a call. Sorry guys, it's a call. I gotta keep it. We'll try again next time. Well, that's on you then.
No.
I'll deliver it wherever you tell me.
Oh no. We'll do the random comment picker, and one of these lucky subscribers will get
So
that.
yeah, you
beautiful.
can handle that. We deliver it in a little pouch here.
Oh, look at that. That's definitely Viking money.
There you go.
That's definitely Viking money.
Yep.
Me and Jake happen to both be Scandinavian. We have a little Norwegian in us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no.
Hence my my guy back here.
Yeah. Viking. Yeah, no.
He's an American Viking, right?
American Viking.
We need more of us out there.
Yes. Everyone calls me like Eric the Red because I have a big red beard.
Nice.
They call me Eric the Red. So speaking of cast and pours, a lot of people are in the community ask me this. What's the difference between pressed, cast, and poured? Because a pressed bar and a cast bar, depending on the mint, it's very hard to tell the difference sometimes. But what I usually tell people is that the poured bars usually have poured lines like this, like the waffle back.
Yeah.
Or the ripples. And then you have like the cast bar that kind of looks like a poured bar, but it's just, you can like this, nice and even all the way around. But out of the three, what's your favorite? Cast, poured, or pressed? You got to pick one.
If I have to pick one, okay, there are a lot of really nice minted bars. And those are the bars that are going to have the nice sharp edges. And so think Royal Canadian Mint bars. Think the Britannia 10-ounce silver bars. Those are all minted bars. We sell a bunch of those. I'm trying to think which one would be like kind of the go-to. We do a bit with Cut Saw. Cut Saw is local here in Dallas, and they make some really cool product. Asahi makes a nice minted bar. That's a great bar. So you have your minted stuff, nice, squared up, even. Absolutely, that's a minted bar, right?
Pressed.
We just my answer because we just talked about it, but it's the hand poured stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's just cool. It doesn't stack as nicely. It's not as pretty. I don't care. Like it rings true with me. Poured silver. I love it. I enjoy it.
It's great, and it like the major starter mints like Engelhart. That's what they did was poured.
Yep.
Johnson Matthey's earlier stuff was poured.
Yep.
Not until later on it started. Stuff was cast and pressed, but pours what started it all for the bars.
Yep.
And I have to agree with you. I love poured silver. And it's unique, especially when you get different pour artists in the community. Every bar is different. Every coin round they do is different. Some of them are even making like these statues and these cool characters, and it's amazing what you can do with it.
Yep. Yeah, there's some really impressive artists out there. I stalk people on Instagram, and it's really impressive what a lot of these kind of hobby pour people are doing. And I'm like, man, I want to know how to do that. Can you show me?
Exactly.
I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time to do that kind of stuff. But that's cool.
I have to agree with you. This is actually another community member. His name is Silverstruck.
That's a cool piece.
Poured. I forgot who poured that bar, but this one's by Rat Stack. This is a channel bar from another content creator. Pistol Pack.
I like all the Spartan stuff. Is cool.
Yeah, but look at the details. See.
Yeah.
And the wings, because he happens to be a pilot.
Nice.
You can see the plane there, and it's like 3D.
Oh wow! Yeah, the tail, man.
It's amazing what people can do, and
that's impressive.
Pretty sure you heard about Empire Precious Metals. I'm sure you heard from another content creator.
Is that Freddy Krueger or what is that?
That's Freddy Krueger.
Nice.
And John Hyatt's a poor artist in the community, and he made this one, and that's also like 3D. There's so many great artists out there, and they can do so many great things with when you pour silver. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I have to say, your Hero Bullion bars, those rounds you just are making now, they're just outstanding.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of people in the community are doing videos on those Hero Bullion 10-ounce bars, and
Yep.
they're awesome.
So just something to look out from us shortly. We have a number of hardened steel stamps coming in, so we can hallmark, and really you're going to see a lot more SKUs coming from us. I showed you a little bit earlier, but we have some. This is a graphite mold, so this would be a Volknut. Okay. I think some people call it Odin's knot. So this is going to be a piece that we're making. I'm guessing it's going to be about 4 or 5 ounces. We don't know quite yet because we haven't poured it yet. Some more Scandinavian type pieces.
I like what you're doing with the Scandinavian stuff.
Yeah, I have to.
That.
I have to. I have an obligation to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm liking it a lot. Yeah, and I guess before we go, what do you think? What's the best silver people that should stack right now? What's the best bang for their buck? Especially, if we all want to get silver or gold as cheap as we possibly can. We want to get the lowest premium stuff, but also have quality silver at the same time and quality gold. What do you think people should be buying right now? Is the rounds a better buy? Are generic bars a better buy? Are government minted coins a better buy? What do you think?
Well, the way I look at stacking, and so we're getting away from the collectible side, the more fun side, and when I talk stacking, we're more talking like utilitarian, like we're checking the boxes. We're not worried about aesthetics per se, but we're more focused on value, liquidity, the type of things that basically having like an efficient turn. If I need to buy and sell this at some point, what's going to serve us the best? And so bars have traditionally been the lowest premium thing out there. So I would say a nice sweet spot would be like a 10-ounce bar. And while it's not like exciting or sexy or anything like that, there are some really good options out there in 10-ounce bars. There's a lot of parity in pricing. They're all kind of about the same price when it comes to premium. Their premium is low. Their liquidity is incredibly high. It's really easy to sell a 10-ounce bar. They're really easy to trade. You go to any coin show and get offered a fair price for them. And so, that spread between what you buy it for and what you end up selling it for, you could potentially, if you find the right buyer for it when it's your time to liquidate, you could potentially, come out in a really good spot. And so I think I look at 10-ounce bars as kind of a pillar. Think about stacking like you're building a house or some kind of structure.
Blocks.
Yeah, you got to get that foundation. So the foundation for me, okay, would be 10-ounce bars. Absolutely no brainer. I would say 1-ounce rounds is another. There are some really cool 1-ounce rounds out there now that are not high premium. One that we've been blowing through is the radial buffalo that's made by Cutsaw here in Dallas. They've kind of piggybacked on what the Royal Canadian Mint is doing with the radial lines around it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so they have a radial buffalo, and the premium is great. I think we have those on special right now. They're less than $2.50 right now in premium. So that's a great option. I love it. It's a good product. That product just got IRA approved. So in the next week, they're going to be all eligible for IRAs, which, some people are yay or nay on that. It's a great product. So you got your 10-ounce bars again, you got your 1-ounce rounds. And then I think when it's time to get into coins, and we're talking about silver right now, is when it's time to get into coins, I think what you do is you go A tier. And right now, A tier, I know there's a little bit of hate on the Britannias. I think the Britannias are at the right price point. But I say right now, the silver maple premiums have come down enough where I would be in on a maple. So if you're going to buy a sovereign product, I'd say maple right now, just because the premium's in the right spot, at least right now, as of the time we're filming this, maples are a great buy. And so, those kind of core pillar products is where you want to stay, get your base, find out what makes sense to you, what you enjoy, what you like. Spread it out a little bit. But yeah, that's where you go. If you can afford it, get 100-ounce bars. We sell plenty of 100-ounce bars. I really like the Royal Canadian Mint 100-ounce bar because you're kind of capturing some of that sovereign mint clout in a 100-ounce bar, which is unusual, right?
Yeah.
So you have the 100-ounce Royal Canadian Mint. They're serialized. You know what year they're made because that's incorporated in the serial number. Highly liquid. They're easily recognizable and respected for trading. So, and if your wallet will allow something like that, will allow you to get a little bit more bang for your buck because they're lower premium. So that's where I would start.
I have to agree with you. The 10-ounce bar, I think, is a sweet spot when it comes to stacking silver. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's just the perfect size with a decent price. And it's, like you said, it's very liquid. It's very liquid. For example, I talked to my local coin shop, and I've asked them, if I walked in here with an 100-ounce bar and 100 rounds or 100 1-ounce bars, what would you take? Oh, I'd rather take the 100 coins, the 100 rounds, the 100 bars, because it's easier to sell. It's easier to offload versus finding that right person or that person that has the money to drop with a 100-ounce bar right now, $2,500. It's hard, to find that person to drop that money. So 10-ounce bars are great. I'm agreeing with you on that. The maples too. Those are, I see a lot of people right now when it comes to government minted coins, they are stacking the maples and Brits. They're like the best bang for your buck right now.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, and before we go, I have one more question. Since you brought up IRA, someone told me that gold Krugerrands are not IRA approved. Is that true or
well?
Or no?
Okay, so when it comes to the K-Rands, there are a number of things. Okay, so the Gold Eagle program was modeled after the Gold Krugerrand program, right? Because that was kind of the standard. Krugerrands were made as far back as the 60s.
Right?
I think it was like the mid 60s that those were made. When it comes to K-Rands, I know that there's specific reporting and exemption for K-Rands, but where a lot of people get thrown off is a K-Rand on a scale will weigh 1.09 troy ounces, right? And so people get all up in arms about that. Is it fake? No, it's not fake. All K-Rands should weigh 1.09 ounces, gold K-Rands, of course, because they contain a full ounce of gold plus copper, right? So yeah, K-Rands, not acceptable. Eagles, yes. 4.9 product, yes. But it's a purity thing, right? So why are Eagles allowed in an IRA if
That's
they
what I
have
was
the
saying.
same composition as a Krugerrand?
That's what I didn't get. With the whole thing with the Eagles, 91.67%. Krugerrand, 91.67%.
Yep.
I'm like, why are they not? Why is the Eagle approved but not the Krugerrand? And before the Eagle, the Krugerrand was the bullion coin you stack. That was what people had up until the late 70s. What would the maple in 79, right? Or the gold maple?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that was the Libertad in 81.
Yeah.
And then the Eagle was in 86. So the Krugerrand was there almost, over about 20 years before any other bullion coin.
Yeah, and they really monopolized the space,
Yeah.
And so, they were kind of playing catch up on the silver side. We had the silver K-Rand just released in the last decade, right?
Yeah. I think like 2017 or something.
So they started it, and then they started it with gold, and we're late to the party on silver. But
that's weird. But no, Krugerrands, they're not the prettiest coin, but they're classic. I like the gold Krugerrands. I have some silver Krugerrands. I don't see nothing wrong with them, but you have to watch out for milk spots on them. But
I would say that the demographic, in other words, the person that is buying gold Krugerrands trends older. Okay, and I think that's just based on history, tradition, whatever. Younger people are much more comfortable buying things like Britannias, gold buffaloes. I always look at the gold buffalo as the U.S. Mint's answer to the gold maple because it is 4 nines like the gold maple is. The gold buffalo is my favorite. I love that coin. It's a phenomenal coin. I love the art. It kind of, for me, it hits all the points, right? Just a beautiful coin.
That has to be my favorite gold coin, the gold buffalo.
Yeah.
By far, it's all around beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But have you seen these?
What is that?
The Royal Spanish Mint are making gold bullion coins now.
Yeah.
This is the 1 ounce links.
And that's like a reverse proof there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. I've seen these.
It's 4 nines fine. This was the first one. They came out in 2021.
Wow. Did those carry a pretty big premium then, or?
They do carry a little premium, but they're not that bad. They're not that bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're I would say during the dip, I picked that up. I think gold was. I think maybe I spent 100 over. Maybe
that's not bad at all.
150, 150 something. I'd have to look back, but this was the first one they came out with in 2021. The links, and then in 2022, every year they're changing the design. And there was only 12,000 of these minted. The 2022 was the bull, the taureau.
Okay.
And then, but they only made these in 1 ounce. But that's same year in 2022 they made this in a 1/10, but then the 1 ounce was the bull.
Okay.
And now in 2023 they're going to have a different 1 ounce design, and then they'll come out with the 1/10 bull. So it's like every other year. But they're like starting off right out of the gate, just outstanding. The gold coloring, the reverse proof finish, and the security features.
It looks like a nice kind of a heavier matte finish in the field there, which I like.
Yeah.
And then some serious detail in the devices, is particularly the link's face, and yeah, it's a good looking coin.
They are beautiful, and they're becoming very, very popular amongst the community. It took a while for people to catch on. I think I was one of 2 that pretty much bought these gold coins first before anyone really caught on. And then about a month, 2 months in, it's caught on, and it's gotten pretty big in the community. Now the Spanish Mint's releasing a silver bullion coin this year.
Nice.
So a lot of big things coming out of that mint that I'm, keeping my eye on.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I think it's been like more than 500 years since they minted anything, or something like that.
Oh, that's incredible.
Something like that. It's crazy. I have to read up on it more. But
it'd be a pretty cool story if they were using the same equipment.
Yeah, right,
500 years ago.
Right. No, exactly.
Clean it up, dust it off. Let's mint some coins, guys.
Yeah. They're definitely a beautiful coin for sure. It becomes really addicting though, because now they're coming out with every different design, so you got to get every design.
They got you. They won. You lost.
Yeah. That's like when I buy a tube of maples and someone gives me a box of an empty maple box, then I have to fill it.
Human nature, man. I'll do that every once in a while. Someone will buy like 10th ounce gold eagles, just send them in a tube, or put them in flips, but then send a tube with them. Like, okay, now you have a goal.
You got them. Yeah. Put a little note in there. Only buy from Hero Bullion if you want to fill the tube.
Okay, that's cool. We'll do our best. We're trying to earn your business every single time. So buy from whoever makes sense for you. But if you choose us, thank you. We'll do our best to take care of it.
There's a lot of reputable, outstanding companies out there. We all know the names, but Hero Bullion is very, very well known in our community. And matter of fact, I did a poll, community tab, about a month ago, a few weeks ago. And I named like 5 or 6 different reputable dealers. You were one of them, and you were one of the top picks.
Nice.
I think it was SD Bullion, Hero Bullion, and Monument Metals, the top 3. Those were the top three. It was you, Monument Metals, and SD.
Yeah.
And it's great. But you guys are outstanding, and especially the stuff you're putting out with the poured silver now, which is great, which is really, really cool. And your prices
look out for a lot more of that in the very short term. There's going to be a lot more of that stuff from us. We've got all the hard stuff kind of figured out. The sourcing of the material. We use depending on the product, and I know this might sound kind of weird, but depending on the product, we do like the grain structure of certain suppliers better than others. So we use metal ore for the grain, as well as the Royal Canadian Mint for the grain. So that's the only two grains that are acceptable in our supply. We don't pollute our supply with anything else. That's it. And it's direct stuff. It's sealed bags. We don't play around with it. You're getting good stuff. We test our own stuff afterwards and make sure there's no contamination throughout the process. So we take really good pride in it. There's one of our guys here has kind of taken that task on of managing that, and it's been so awesome to see both his skill increase as well as his confidence in it, and like his knowledge base. And I just kind of get to be the guy standing over his shoulder being like, yeah, good job, man, you did this right. So it's really exciting here to be able to put our logo and our name on something and be proud of what we're putting out there into the community. So thank you for that. Thank you for that feedback. There's going to be a lot of good fun. I think that a lot of this hobby should be fun. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff come out from us here, and hopefully a chance to engage with the community. We want to do a little bit of behind the scenes stuff and show people how we're made it, because we're not gatekeepers here. There's no secrets. Maybe there's one secret. I won't tell you one secret, but we already talked about that. You're not learning how we do this, guys. Sorry, don't ask.
I know.
I spent many hours on forums online, and I went outside of the bullion community to figure out how to do this. And so I will take that with me.
And let me tell you, it's hard work. It's hard work to make it right, to get that perfect color. It's very hard. There's a science to pouring metals.
Absolutely.
I don't care what anybody says. It's not just melting it and pouring it. There's a science.
There's also art, though. There's also there's that like kind of intangible. You can get all the X's and O's right and still get a bad product if you don't just get it all to hit at the right spot. So it's fun. I mean, it's a problem. It's challenging sometimes, but we just had a piece of equipment break down last week, and so we kind of been limping along while we have some parts come in. And I mean, it is what it is. It's fun stuff. We enjoy it.
Do you think eventually, if you continue getting into the pouring for Hero Bullion, eventually would you start pressing bars, getting a press? And
yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a part of it. It's still down, that's down the road. We are actively looking for casters right now to make cast bars as well. So we do the hand poured bars, and right now it's just a matter of, these things take some pretty extensive power. So it's getting the power here and getting everything here at the right time to do casting. So we're still a few months out. You're going to see a lot more casting. I'm just in the industry talking to those, hey, where are you getting your casting stuff? Can you, turn me on to anyone who can help me out? There's going to be a lot more cast product out on the market. A lot of people are bringing casting online. The barrier to entry to that is it's definitely lower than striking like a minted or extruded bar or something like that. It's you can get a casting line, if you will, up and running a lot cheaper than you can a minted line. So look out for that. More casting, not just from us, industry wide. There's going to be a lot more casting out there.
That's awesome. Hero Bullion, you guys started about 3 years ago, correct? Yep. And just how far you guys come. It's great. Guys, if you guys want to go check out Hero Bullion, the link will be in my description. Go check them out. They got great prices. You can see the founder is an awesome guy. Guys, go check them out and buy some poured bars.
Right on, man.
Well, I appreciate it. And it means a lot having you on, and I hope we can do this again.
Awesome.
Maybe in a year from now, and you have the cast bars ready to go. But yeah,
we'll see. I mean, probably a million things can happen to slow it down, but we're working on it. So
yeah, absolutely. And guys, comment on this video if you want to enter in to win that beautiful.
Oh yeah, let's get this
beautiful. What's that? 2 ounces? 2 ounce, right?
It's a 2 ounce piece. Yep.
2 ounce beautiful toner. Look at that blue and purple.
There's even a little bit of gold in here. I don't think the camera's picking it up, but up here,
orange,
gold.
Yeah,
gold look in here. So I picked this one. I handpicked this one just because it displays a lot of the stuff a lot of the colors that I like. It's kind of a crapshoot with these when it comes to what you get, but this one's beautiful.
Yeah, every time I try to tone them, they turn out black. I think I leave them in there too long or something. But
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Eventually, maybe you could tell me that secret. That's going to the grave. Well, I appreciate it, Jake Haugen, right?
Yep.
And yeah, guys, go check out Hero Bullion. Don't forget to comment on this video. And I'll see you later, Jake.
All right. Thanks.